Thank you very much. Yeah, so we've got 9 lightning talks, I think, in this section. So looking forward to hearing from everybody. We'll just go through the guidelines again. There's each lightning talk is 2 minutes, so it's one slide, 2 minutes. Same rules as yesterday. Please try and keep to time. Could the in-person participants please come to the side when you're up next, or at least a couple up, just to kind of make the handover as easy as possible. We've got a mix of remote and in-person people. Sorry, I make you all stand, sorry. But thank you, it just makes it a little bit faster. So our first lightning talk was coming from remote. So we've got Emma online. Could you possibly unmute Emma? And
hello. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you.
Sorry, my video wasn't going on.
No problem. Can you see it? Okay, go on.
Yeah. Okay, so hi, I'm Emma from the Alan Turing Institute. I'm talking about the People in Data, which is a 3-year program where we're convening existing data professionals communities and also creating a community space for those that don't have their own community already. So this is to share knowledge, define roles and skills, and share and create training resources and other resources as well, and also work together to tackle very thorny issues in this space. So we're going to be working with lots of different partners, SSI being one of our partners on this program, but the community is open to anyone to join, so it's open to all. Why do we need to convene this community or these communities together? It's because the UK, we have loads of research data. It's not very accessible, it's not in the right format, and it isn't very well archived for sustainability at the moment. And so we need more people who specialise in data roles in research. So these people are really highly skilled, and they're in short supply at the moment. And very much under-recognised for their key skills and contributions to research. So we don't value them on the same level as traditional research roles. And so these specialised roles really need to be professionalised and need clear career pathways to attract, train and retain talent. So who are we targeting? It's a very broad definition of data professionals, and we want to convene people across different domains and different sectors. So not really that ambitious, but very ambitious, obviously. Anyone really who works in a role focused on data. So this could be in a formal named role, such as data steward or data engineer, data curator, librarians, all sorts of things like that, but also those working in traditional research roles that really focus on data as their main work. So come and join us. I know I've run out of time. There's all the there's some QR codes on the slide. Thanks very much.
Thank you, fantastic. And next up we have Samantha.
There should be a slide. There we go. I'm Samantha Ahern. Sam, I am one of the Lesson Programmes Governance Committee for Carpentries. So if you are familiar with Carpentries, you will know there was a big change to the staffing just before Christmas last year. And that has had quite a knock-on effect into what can be supported where. In particular, it's kind of affected the curricular advisory committees and how much support they get from the core team. So what has happened is that sitting above that is a thing called the Lesson Programmes Governance Committee. They've been around about a year, and we kind of oversee that top level. Certainly in the software carpentry realm, the CAC wasn't quite functioning as it should be. So what's happened is that we've merged the two together. So there's the 3 of us that were sitting in the LPGC, which is me, Valentina and Martino. And with us, Manglan, who was in the CAC, has joined us to form one committee now. So whereas you would have the CAC and the LPGC sitting above, it is now one committee. So if there are things as a maintainer you're not sure about, if you're struggling with, it will come to us. If there are things that can't be agreed amongst the maintainers, it will come to us. If you want to see things, change things, we definitely want to add some additional lesson programs. What's there is great, but there is an awful lot of other really great stuff that would be good if it was a properly core lesson, those kind of things. So please read the blog post, which explains more about all of the changes. It did go out and got a bit hidden in the Carpentries blog. We are going to be asking you to, potentially move some of your stuff to core from the lab or the incubator. I'm looking for somebody to look after the MATLAB lesson. I've checked that the MATLAB works. I haven't checked the Octave. And we just need someone just to tweak it a little bit because it needs a bit of love and there is no maintainer. And I know Toby's been asking for maintainers, but we definitely need more. Any questions about software carpentry stuff? Any ideas on how we can make this a bit more exciting and how we can move it forward and what needs to come through, then just let me know.
Fantastic, thank you. Next up, we've got Scott Archer-Nicholls. Pass over.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm here to talk about this product called Climate Just, which I've been working on at University of Manchester. It does currently exist, but we've just done a huge update in the background, which will be launched soon. This is part of a wider project that we're working on called the Digital Solutions Hub, which is trying to make the environmental data on the Natural Environment Research Council's data centers more fair, more easily accessible and reusable, particularly for those outside of the academic community, because there's lots of good data out there, which could have an influence on decision makers, but is hard to access, hard to understand, and hard to put into practice. So Climate Just is a website which is looking at the impacts of climate change in the UK due to flooding and heat, and intersecting that with maps of deprivation and other factors that may make different communities more vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. So looking at the intersection between the impacts of climate change and the vulnerability to climate change. This is an example of a map from what the new website will look like. There's a ArcGIS map, which is showing the social flood risk index, which is a combination of flood risk in the 2050s under a 4 degrees warming scenario, intersected with maps of socioeconomic maps of degradation. I've also just put a map layer of flood alert areas there, and that circle there is where we are right now in Warwick. Yeah, I guess that's about all I have to say about this. But if you have any more questions or interested in this project, please come and talk to me. I think it's quite an important area of research to get this data out there. In practice, it's quite challenging because it is so disparate. But yeah, any questions, just come and chat.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Chue Hong.
Thank you, Kirsty. So I'm part of a project called Universe HPC, which is looking at the skills, training, and experience that are required for research software engineers who are trying to specialize in high performance computing or large scale data science. You probably know us best if you've remembered that it's part of Universe HPC for the bite-sized RSE workshops and podcasts. But what we're also looking at is the types of courses, the curriculum, and the learning pathways that are required for RSEs working in this space. We're not the only people who are doing this. There's some great work that's going on in the UK around RSE competencies, and in Germany, again, around RSE competencies and what degree level programs look like. So I've said, what does an RSE degree look like anyway? We've been doing some work looking across the different courses that are being provided. We think it falls into 4 different pillars around research software engineering, computational research, high performance computing, and data science. And what we've done is we've tried to put these together and have an understanding of how you fit these together into a 1-year master's level course. However, we're probably wrong. So what we're interested in doing is getting some feedback on this. We've got a document that you can get through this QR code and this link. And what we're interested in finding out is what have we missed? What are the things that are important that we are overlooking? And in particular, can you give us some tips about how you think this might be implemented in your own universities, your own organizations? What are you looking for? So, yeah, if you're interested in finding out more about Universe HPC or about this document, come speak to me, speak to some of the other people who are involved in this room. Otherwise, go along to that document and hopefully don't break Google again.
Excellent, thank you, Neil. And now we have Cristian, Dinu. Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to tell you how you could gets access to data for high resolution energy data for 12,000 UK homes, a sample of 12,000 homes. And it is part of a project called EDOL, edol.uk if you want to see more details, which in turn is built on a project called CERL, another amazing project. So this gets smart meter electricity and gas data readings, and it combines them with other important energy metrics, such as EPC and weather and tariffs. And plus, we get some socioeconomic data from surveys that these participants complete and send over. All of the data collection is done using informed consent. So if you want to use this data, you get a reliable and trusted channel, as it is also governed by a very strong governance body, which means that it's absolutely fine. It's only, the data is pseudonymized, and also only accredited researchers can get access to it. So CERL offers already 4 years worth of data, more or less, for those 12,000 homes. And we are going a step further, and another step and another step. You'll see smaller and smaller boxes with fewer and fewer, but more data available, such as high resolution sensors up to 10 seconds for electricity and so on. So if you need such data for your projects, or if you want us to share our knowledge of IoT and smart meters, please get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to go remote for our next speaker, who's Sandra Gesing. Can you hear us, Sandra?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I'll ask you to unmute and go ahead with your talk.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to talk about ChiHackNight and how to collaborate with them. I know it's built for Chicago, but they have a lot of topics which are really interesting, I think, for research software engineer, if you want to do something for the public good, and which are also transferable to really do in the UK or Germany, Europe. So ChiHackNight is really looking also into diversity, equity, and inclusion, similar like USRC, similar like the UK, Germany, or the RSE associations. And it's around really giving people the chance to work on something like projects, for example, have an information database for immigrants, or work on a project around, and we heard just about environmental projects, decarbonize, you know, in the state and in cities, and really look into community service. Like, for example, how can people, you know, we get really social services and really sharing these knowledge data and open source code. And I think if we, from the RSE associations and society, can work with groups like this would be really good. And if you are interested, I know ChiHackNight is probably not for Europe and the UK the best time, because it's on, the weekly meetings are on Tuesday in the evening in Chicago, but there's a lot of also going on online, and I think it would be interesting to support, because these groups often need research or software engineers, research software engineers to support, to build databases and to do something for the public good. So if you're interested, please reach out to me.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is in person. We've got Adamu Habu. Pass over to you.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Adamu is my name, from University of St. Andrews. GDPR and similar data protection regulations provided some rights, data subject rights, to me, you, and everybody. The idea of the drafters of this law is to give you a kind of control towards your data. But this rights means different thing to different people. Activists are using it to fight for workers' rights. Researchers are using it as a tool for research in a research study. For example, as a researcher, I want to audit the data that is being held by a GP. This GP or machine learning engineers are using this data for our future. We have to know, we have to be sure that the data they're holding is correct. If I go to the GP and ask them to give me that data, they will not. With this legal framework, I can recruit participants and tell them to go and collect the data and give me, then I will do my research analysis. What we found out is that this kind of research studies are hard to conduct because they require legal and technical knowledge at a bare minimum. They suffer scalability limitation. As part of my PhD, we try to adopt the concept of citizen science, in which we'll invite volunteers to help us in improving the scale of this kind of research studies. We're trying to adopt the idea of delegation because we said it's hard to conduct. So in which we ask people to delegate the exercise of their right to us, then we'll lead the process. When the data is up, the data will be supplied to the data subject and they will do the analysis and send to us. I'm building this framework. So anyone interested can contact me. Sorry, I didn't put my email, aah@St. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we've got a familiar face. I'll pass over to Shoaib Sufi.
Thanks. So I'm going to speak a bit about the EVERSE project. It's one project I'm moving on to. It's about research software quality. It's a European project. It aims to help software become a first-class research object. You've probably heard that term before. Credit and recognition for those working on the software as well as the software itself. Hopes to promote preservation, cross-pollination, best practice. So one of the cool things about this project is it brings the set of people that it brings together. Brings together the science clusters, the EOS, European Open Science Clusters, which are a loose association. Each cluster is a loose association of people in a particular area, whether it's environmental science, life sciences, particle physics, photon and neutron science, and social science and humanities. And the idea is to assess what people are using in terms of software, first define what software quality is, and create a forum for other people and other projects, and not in other projects, just across Europe, to be able to interact with their views on what software quality is for research, and then building a research software quality toolkit, which is a knowledge base, guides for advice and what to do in certain circumstances around research software quality. It's really, at the moment, it's just started 1st of March. So we're working on assessing what tools people are using, assessing how people would assess quality, and to hopefully generate advice, and then form a bit of a community around this, and then also produce training offerings. So it's early days, and I'm sure in the coming years, in the coming time, you will hear more about EVERSE. Thanks.
Fantastic, thank you. And now I'll pass over to Jannetta Steyn for her talk.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jannetta Steyn. I'm a senior research software engineer at Newcastle University. And OfflineDataSci is actually part of the Carpentries offline project, which is it's a real collaborations workshop baby. It was born in 2021 during one of the discussion sessions, and then it went on to the Hack Day, and then we got a SSI fellowship for going on with the project. Now, offline data science specifically, sorry, I'm switching to Afrikaans for some reason. Yeah. All right, so yeah, so the project aims at allowing people who do not have good or no internet access to present Carpentries workshops. And OfflineDataSci is a Python package that will scrape all the learning materials plus all the software tools that you will need, like R and Python and RStudio. And you can save it either to a memory stick or to a to your laptop or to the Raspberry Pi if you're going to create an access point. And you have all your learning materials locally with you, plus all the downloads that you would require. And so this Python package is now available to download. I should have put the Carpentries offline website on there. It's carpentriesoffline.org. So if you're interested in that, please go and have a look, because Carpentries Offline is more than just this package. But this package makes quite a big part of it, because we actually also use it to create the images that we write to the Raspberry Pi OS image, and to build our other projects that we have. And if you have any questions, please give me a shout. And I think my time is up.